Thanks for checking out Chamber Web TV. This is Cambridge Votes 2014, a conversation with candidates for the upcoming October 27th municipal election. I'm Greg DeRocher, President and CEO of the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce, and it's my pleasure to sit down with Ward 3 candidate Davidson. How are you, my friend?
Thanks, Greg. Thanks very much.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Long time ago, yeah.
I know.
Old Sharing Street.
The old
We've
Sharing.
all moved, yeah. We've all moved on from there.
The old Preston guys, but
I'm on Rose Street now, but
I keep telling every single candidate there. Remember, that was my old stamping ground, so you better not screw it up when you get there.
Well, okay. We'll keep
I
that
can
in mind.
say that now because I'm not in politics,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, I've got obviously, as you well know, I'd have a lot of great memories of Preston and the voters in that area, and they're pretty, they're hardcore voters. They make you earn your vote. So, but I think it's great. So, have you been out banging on doors?
I have in my neighborhood immediate. I've got my signs coming. I'm waiting for that, and we're just setting up with my nephew there our brochure and handouts. It's a lot more involved than I ever thought. It really was. I just thought, yeah, you put your name in there, and if you're a little popular, you start knocking on doors. But
it's fun, isn't it? Isn't it fun talking to people?
It is really exciting, and I've always been in that kind of a situation, working with Sears and retail, and you know, so I've always interacted with people, anyways. So I come by that all right. Camera's a little nervous around.
Yeah, well, don't worry about the camera.
Okay.
There's just people on the other
just
side.
Just people, yeah. There's a whole bunch.
David, tell me something. Why are you running?
Why am I running? I am extremely involved in our ward, in our community, either through sports activities, a lot of coaching. I do a lot of work actually through St. Clement's Church and St. Vincent de Paul for the needy. We have a
work with Father Sherlock.
I do.
He's a great guy.
He's an amazing fella. He really is. Yeah. We have a pantry there, and it's a quiet little thing. We don't embellish about it or anything, but we spend. And I run it pretty well, this pantry. It's just stocked, and then what'll happen is just anybody knocking on the door on the rectory, Frankie there, the secretary, or Father Phil, whoever answers the door, we make up some bags and everything. But 5 years ago, Greg, I would spend maybe $4,000 a year. Now it's like $12,000.
Wow.
Just stocking that. And that's not what else we do, because all of a sudden, or also what we do is we have hand deliveries where we'll give out vouchers to people so they can independently go shopping themselves. And then we also have a huge Christmas drive. But we usually, it's a massive, St. Clement's Parish is just wonderful, but it's a massive...
led by, you know, that's Phil Sherlock.
Yeah.
He's like that. He's a very giving and very compassionate guy, and
he brings it out on the
and he's, you know, he's one of my favorite guys.
Yeah. So. But we do at least 120 families that we'll feed, and every kid will get at least 3 gifts.
That's great.
It's amazing, and it's just
that's got to make you feel good, eh?
It is, because you know, it's we're quiet little mice running the thing, but it's just this community is extremely giving. It's so that's rewarding, and I like to give back.
I know.
I'm happy to be in this community.
Well, you always have. My goodness, that's all you seem to do. It's good though. You know what? And there needs to be more people like that who, you know, I guess to some degree you know, if you find yourself feeling blessed, then you need to, you know, help others.
Yeah.
And
but it's minimal. What's an hour or 2 hours a week?
I know.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's really not. It's just.
And it is rewarding, and it's so appreciated.
Yeah.
It's you put a little smile, or just take a little weight off somebody's shoulders.
Or put a little food in the belly of a kid. You know, that's critically important.
It is.
Tell me something, David. In your impression, what do you think is the most or the biggest issue facing Cambridge and other municipalities in the province of Ontario right now?
Probably the biggest thing we're going to need is probably economical development that we can keep, maintain.
Jobs.
Jobs is so important, whether it's manufacturing, tourism, high tech. Services, you know, it's so important to get a good job, solid base here, because that's where we get our taxes from, and you know, to run this community, that's required. So if we can maintain and keep that strong it gives us the opportunity to have visions.
Yeah.
And you know, and then plan. You know, but if you don't have a solid base to work with, it's pretty hard to.
Well, as you well know, that's a, you know, the Chamber of Commerce is very concerned about that. Always trying to work on driving business in here and working with local businesses to create opportunity. And sometimes government gets in the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm finding I'm listening. You're listening a little harder. You read a little harder now when you get a little more involved. And you see, the roadblocks.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We need protection. There's no question about that. But we need jobs. We lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs since 2004, and we need those jobs back. You know, not everybody's a doctor, lawyer, and accountant.
No, or in high tech. Manufacturing was huge here.
And especially in Cambridge. We're an industrial town. You know, I heard a stat not long ago. Cambridge has the highest per capita rate of factory worker of any other city in the province of Ontario. That's majority of our workers in our community are industrial workers. So we need those industrial jobs, or we need to help those plants in town grow and expand and create opportunities for more. And I know you'd love to get your teeth into that stuff.
I really would, and hopefully more comes back offshore and back here. And then we see, you know, the Canadian made products are something to be proud and appreciated. So
yeah, we do a good job here.
Hopefully it is just a turnaround. It's just a phase we've gone through and tried to save a buck, but if it comes back and the pride is still there, let's
well, the Chamber's going to work really hard. We just hope the city works hard with us.
That's my role.
I get to do that every once in a while. They can't do anything to me, you know. So tell me something, Dave. What's the biggest issue in your ward?
In Ward 3, it's probably just the frustration of the traffic up King Street. Is just horrendous, eh? And it's not just there. It's on Franklin. It's on Town Line. It's
have an accident on the 401. See what happens in downtown Preston.
Yeah. It's but you know what? And I know it's the bridge. It's the Speedsville, and you know, and Fountain's coming right behind, eh? But even my wife and I were going up to Kitchener to a museum on a Friday. We come out and on just around Laurel there, and by the time we got to Dover Flower, it was 30 minutes. 30 minutes just sitting. So we're all sitting.
Could have walked faster.
And you know what's happening now? They're all coming up parallel streets like like Hamilton, Queenston, Duke. So everybody rushes up to think they're going to beat the traffic, and then it's all congested up at Eagle and King.
Yeah, we need to get some of that through traffic.
Yeah.
I think years and years ago when I was involved, you know, we kind of felt or hoped that the number 8 bypass connecting to the 401 was going to drive a lot of that through traffic out of downtown Preston. But I think, you know, it's so clogged up sometimes people look at alternative routes, and the only other alternative route is number 8 coming right through downtown Preston.
Yeah. You know what else is happening too? I mean, those small businesses are taking a beating too, eh? Because who wants to park on King on those certain hours? Because you won't get back out. Nobody will let you out. And I know we got street lights and crosswalks to cross too, but if they're 3-4 blocks away, we all like to cross the street, but not too many people are going to let you out.
The only time you can do that is when the traffic's so jammed up that everybody's stopped.
Well, you can get across. Yeah, you just can't get out in the parking, eh? But it is, and you know what? That's important. That core downtown. Yeah. We got to keep it, and we got to be as supportive as we can with them, eh?
No, I know.
I know there is some mystery parking in behind us, but a lot of us don't know that.
No,
no. Maybe we could get that.
And you know what? The shopper's looking for convenience, right?
Yeah.
They're just looking for convenience.
Yes.
Frankly, the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce is looking for people with some big, bold ideas to carry us forward, not just the next 4 years, but beyond. What's Davidson's big, bold idea?
Well, it's one dear to my heart and always has been along, but I didn't create it. I didn't light that torch. But a large recreational center. We need to get on the map, and I know there's lots of people before.
Well, I hear rumors that it's kind of in pencil.
Yeah.
You know, all you need to do is maybe get it in ink.
Yeah, because pencil you can roll, okay. But it's, you know, it's because I did a lot of coaching and you know in the sports, and even just listening to people, and they come in, you're standing in the rink watching the kids play hockey or something, and everybody's looking around and, wow, this is Cambridge, eh? Where you get into some of these other, even small communities, but they're just wonderful complexes, eh?
I thought we did a really great job a number of years ago when we redid Galderina Gardens, because I think that turned into a magnificent facility. But But there just hasn't been any money spent on the tin boxes in town.
And it's, you know, it's growing. Look at even just ice alone, like hockey, but girls hockey alone.
Oh, I know.
That's
it's huge
now.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
Yeah, and that's about, you know, creating an environment where people have opportunities too, and they need to entertain their kids. Otherwise, we're not going to get the families moving here. If we don't get the families here, we don't get the people here, we're not going to get business here.
No, you're right.
And so it's a vicious circle. Yeah. It's like a dog chasing his tail, you know. And
speed skating. You know,
oh, it's huge. Yeah.
Curling. It's you know, that's the way people are going to want to get into those kind of softer
But
sports.
more importantly, you want your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and everybody else to enjoy those facilities.
Exactly, yes.
That's what you grew up with?
And standing beside that guy, and I do hear, he said, this is a wonderful complex, Cambridge. That's nice to hear.
Yep. No, I wouldn't disagree with you at all. As you probably know, the Chamber opposed the LRT. We didn't oppose it because we don't like public transportation or don't want public transportation. We largely opposed it because we didn't think it was the right technology or the right time to be spending that kind of money on that service. The other part of it that concerned us a lot was the fact that while we're maybe never going to see it in Cambridge, certainly in the foreseeable future, we have to pay for it. So we weren't real happy about that either. However, that's just my beef that I get the opportunity to do this, to remind people every single one of these videos that I'm still not over it. However, I do come to the conclusion, because democracy prevails, and I'm a big supporter of democracy. The vote was taken. It's all a done deal. We're going to get it. However, in Cambridge, you know, when are we going to get it? The premier got elected with a majority government. We now have a representative of that government right here in Cambridge. She did say there may be an opportunity to speed that up. However, it's all going to be predicated on need. So we got to get people riding public transportation in order to validate that need. What do you propose we do to try and encourage that?
Well, like if somehow, I guess, to get into that LRT, we're going to have to do a lot of pre-work. We're going to have to get all the bodies to those substations or whatever they're going to be. We're going to have to have a lot of access into parking and systems, cooperative bus systems that are going to coordinate with the trail riding or the train riding itself.
Yeah.
Like I was down in Milton, that's massive, that parking lot. I was just kind of go down Toronto. I thought I was going to try it, eh? It's not any quicker, unfortunately.
No?
No, it wasn't. I mean, by the
time was that the Go service that you used?
Yeah.
How, you know what? Because that's kind of part of it. And my next question would be around Go service, but there is a link between LRT and Go. I think in the city of Cambridge, the city's really pushing this Go thing right now. And that was kind of my question. Do you think it's good, or what effect will it have in Cambridge? However, the LRT system, they're kind of planning that it would meet up with the Go.
Okay.
You know, which would support the Go, but also maybe the Go would support the LRT system. You rode the Go.
Yes.
You said it wasn't any faster, but
because of the stuff, see?
Right. But was it convenient?
It was convenient because it was like $20. And so I didn't have, it's free parking.
Yeah, no parking.
I didn't have to have the frustrations.
Well, but once you got down there?
Downtown Toronto, easy to walk around. I mean, it's, you know, and everybody's walking anyways. It's dreadful if you even think about driving down there anyways. So that was really convenient that way, eh? And it was nice and enjoyable because if you're a business person, I mean, you get time, you can sit, you can make some notes, read something. You've got that relaxed atmosphere.
Well, I've often said, I've never taken it. And oftentimes my meetings are in downtown Toronto, Queen's Park, or the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, which is very close. I've often said that if we had two-way all-day Go out of Cambridge, I probably would use it, because I could go down first thing in the morning, have my meetings, I could be back here by lunchtime. The only reason I haven't used it, even in Milton, by the time I get off and get parked, and you know, I may as well stay on the road and I'm just about there. But it would be a real convenience. So I think Go would find a new user in me. Do you
I
think
like the Go idea better too. I mean, but and you got to consider that's massive traffic coming out of Milton at that 4, 5, 6 hour. So a lot of that's going to be more east or west of us, anyways, because there's not going to be as much congestion there anyways coming out.
And maybe going in
we're getting
at
on earlier.
10 o'clock in the morning might not be as slow. You know, they just
Yeah.
stop for a second and nobody'd be getting on or off.
And it wasn't
earlier.
even at Milton, there was hardly anybody on it, but once you get into those street spills and those other ones, Union, you know, when I went right to Union Station, it was massive. It was standing room only. It's
Oh, really?
and everybody off,
Sardines
and then back on.
open the door and they all fall out.
But my meeting was done at 2, so for me to come back, I couldn't get a train until I believe it was 4 o'clock. So the option was, well, you can take a bus to Milton. The train probably would have been about the same time.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the bus was even that much slower with the congestion.
Yeah,
eh? But it is there. You know what? It's just the patience, I guess, because there's just so much construction everywhere that everybody's jammed up. It's, I guess in the future it's all going to look good. But you know, we've got to have a little patience until we get there.
I know.
But I didn't have to drive.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'm waiting for autonomous vehicles that'll drive me down there and that I can sit in the back seat and snooze or something.
Maybe you and I won't be around to see that. But,
I bet I will.
The vision for the youth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the future, David, where do you see Cambridge in 25 years?
25 years. I hope you and I do see it.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see a lot of change in the Preston area. Hopefully not. I just very content to love it. It's, you know, maybe a little more development and support for the downtown businesses, but and keep us like a little sub community. Eh? Hesper probably much the same thing in that area too. I could see more development in around the bridge, the rivers, that kind of it. The core downtown Galt it's something to work with. Eh?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and that's a you know a huge. What would you say?
Well,
it's picturesque.
It's a draw.
A draw, exactly. Yeah, the draw. You know, and I can see in the future. I mean, that there's massive condominium and density growing in that core area within, say, probably 2 clicks. Eh?
Yeah.
So I see the downtown more shops, maybe like butchers, bakers.
Yeah.
You know, those small little things, and then
love to have that.
And then shut off the streets.
I went to Burlington, Vermont for I don't know whether you've ever been there for a week for a couple of days meetings. Burlington, Vermont's 35,000 people. It's the largest city in the state of Vermont. 35,000 people.
Wow.
But they took about 6 blocks of this community and blocked it off.
Yep.
And they made it all cobblestone in there, and you can only walk. It's only pedestrian friendly, but they got other streets crossing it that you can drive in.
Yes.
But Sunday morning at 10:30, drizzling, a little bit of rain, cold in April, it was packed. It was packed. You know, people love the little shops and they had really neat little things over the sidewalk every so often. You know, there was probably only about a 20-foot gap between them, but they had these. Independent of the building, they had like little roofs, like you went a plexiglass roof, so the sun would shine through. But in case it was raining or drizzly, you could walk underneath them, and then you'd have a 20-foot gap or whatever. But you know, I thought it was fantastic.
It's our little Europe eventually.
Yeah,
Eh? I mean,
and I think downtown Galt has exactly that opportunity.
Yeah, it's got that opportunity for sure.
Yeah,
and I could see that. Eh?
Yeah.
It's you know, and
you and I in 25 years, we'll be sitting down there in our rocking chairs. Yeah, on our scooters, we'll whip around down there, that's for sure. But
little glass of wine and cheese and
exactly.
We'll play croquet or whatever, checkers or.
You know, David, I'm really excited about this election. The reason I'm really excited is finally, you know, Cambridge seems to be the most high-tech community in the region of Waterloo. I'm excited because we can do our banking online, we can do our security investment online, we can do lots of things of private and secure nature online. Why couldn't we ever vote online? I asked the clerk years ago when I was on council, you know, we should be able to do online voting. Oh, no, we're afraid of that, But you know what? The internet's over 25 years old. It's the 21st century. Like, everybody kind of knows what the technology is, and the internet isn't a fad. I think it's going to be around for a long, long time, and we need to make voting convenient. What do you think?
Well, it's strong, convenience is the big thing. It is. If it's a rainy day, which usually rains.
I just said
November
that too.
the 11th or Remembrance Day or voting day. It's always rainy. You know, but why not? Like you say, the technology is there. It's a convenience, and it would cut out the excuses why I'm not getting out. Eh? And we could get more involvement. And you know, so one spouse says the other, well, I'm going. Well, I'm not going. I'm comfortable here. Well, you know what? You can do it right here online. let's just...
In your pajamas. I'm going to take a picture of me doing it in my pajamas on October the 11th, and I'm going to take a picture of it and put it up online and let everybody know that you can vote in your pajamas.
Exactly. And you know what? It's no fun to say that I got in or whoever got in, but you know what? 30% of the vote, you know, is only, that's what showed up. We do, you know, because that's not a voice. That's not a true voice. No. We need to get that number over 50, 60%. So we are getting a true picture of what the community wants.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
To represent, so.
Any last words to the Ward 3 voters?
The Ward 3, I now I'm going to stumble.
No, you won't.
No, I would love to represent Ward 3. I think I'm very realistic and rational, and I'm very proud to live in that community, and I hope you all get out for October the 27th and vote. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, folks, for checking in to Chamber Web TV. This is Cambridge Votes 2014, a conversation with the candidates for the upcoming October 27th municipal election. Again, I'm Greg DeRoche. It's been my pleasure to sit down with Ward 3 candidate David Davidson. Good luck, David.
Thanks very much, Greg. Thank you.
Take care.